The transfer student, Yi Qian, has just arrived to report to her new class. The homeroom teacher warns all the students. Yi Qian ranked first in the entire school at Ximen High School. Do not provoke her or bully her. The troublemaker in the class, Kui Hongyi, could not care less. He even sneered, "So what if he is the top student? He is just a transfer student, after all." Yi Qian was born into a privileged family, but his father's supervision of his studies was almost obsessive. Every time he went to a cram school, his father would demand photos to confirm he arrived. Even when he studied in his room, his father would stand nearby, watching him. My father's profession is related to being a doctor. He forced me to write doctor as my dream. On my career plan, whenever I got a question wrong, my father would tap my forehead with his finger, repeatedly urging me to focus. He would stare at me with a stern look. I could only helplessly say sorry. However, his father blamed him for not saying sorry to himself, but instead told him to start over. Such an environment made it difficult for him to sleep every night, as if an invisible hand was choking his neck, making it hard for him to breathe. The next day, he went to class, just in time to see Kui Hongyi bullying a classmate. He casually returns to his seat, his helpless gaze sweeping over the lifelong dreams his father forced him to write. As he struggles internally, Kui Hongyi accidentally drops his portable music player on the ground. Seeing that he remains indifferent and even acts as if nothing happened, especially seeing him tap his classmate's forehead with his finger, this scene makes him involuntarily think of his father's behavior. He can't help but shout loudly. The air suddenly becomes still. Kui Hongyi looks around. After confirming that the shout was directed at him, he suddenly lifts his foot and kicks at 1000, then proceeds to kick him repeatedly. During this time, he kept mocking him as a weakling. He endured silently, but Kui Hongyi was not going to let him off. After school, he arranged to meet him face to face. He apologized for his reckless behavior during class. Seeing this, Kui Hongyi did not continue to attack. Instead, he took most of the cash from his wallet and left a string of phone numbers in his phone, warning that he must reply immediately to any message sent, or he will get punched the moment he is a second late. The boy wearing a hat beside him witnessed all this, and then said to Kui Hongyi that he does not seem very afraid of you. But Kui Hongyi was very confident, thinking that even 1,000 people would tremble at the sight of him. The next day, Kui Hongyi sent a message to 1000 on his way to school, asking him to buy breakfast. 1000 ignored it, and was retaliated against by Kui Hongyi. Seeing that he kept wearing headphones, Kui looked down on him for not responding, grabbed his portable music player, and turned to leave. The portable music player means a lot to 1000. He immediately demanded it back. After hearing this, Kui Hongyi directly kicked 1000. At the same time, he announced that from today, the portable music player belongs to him. 1000 called out to stop Kui Hongyi again. He begged him to return the portable music player. However, Kui Hongyi deliberately threw the player on the ground. He walked up to him and kept tapping his forehead with his finger. This move completely ignited Yi Qian's inner rage. He swung his fist and sent Kui Hongyi flying. Kui Hongyi looked utterly incredulous. He kicked up and knocked him to the ground. Then he even had a classmate close the door. He wanted to give Yi Qian a proper lesson, but at this moment, Yi Qian no longer held back. The two broke out into a fierce fight. You throw a punch, I throw a punch, neither gaining the upper hand. 1000 seizes the opportunity, clings tightly to Kui Hongyi's waist, enduring the opponent's fists pounding relentlessly on him. The furious 1000 suddenly crashes Kui Hongyi into the desk and forcefully slams him hard onto the table, then takes the chance to fiercely attack his legs, deliver another punch to him, completely humiliating Kui Hongyi. Just as he tries to fight back, he is grabbed by the hair by 1000 and thrown to the ground. He quickly gets up and presses down on Kui Hongyi like a nightmare scene, clenching his neck tightly. Kui Hongyi's companion tries to intervene, but Jiang Yongqi intervened just in time. At the moment Kui Hongyi was about to suffocate, Yi Qian finally regained his composure. He originally intended to end it this way. However, Kui Hongyi sneak attacked him from behind, but he managed to dodge it. Then he landed a solid punch on Kui Hongyi. After school, Jiang Yongqi voluntarily approached Yi Qian, remind him that Kui Hongyi won't let this go. Even if he does not want to fight anymore, he has no choice now. On the way home, Yi Qian was reflecting on the fight earlier. He could not help but smile slightly. When he walked into the room, it felt as if for a moment he saw his late brother, and that portable music player was a gift from his brother. The next day, Yi Qian came to school again. Jiang Yongqi approached him to give a warning. The leader of Kui Hongyi's group is Jin Chengjun. He is a guy who is trained a bit in boxing but just pretends to be the boss. If you really want to confront him, you must avoid getting into his attack range. You have to get close to him immediately and roll to the ground together. This is the only way to have a slim chance of winning. Yi Qian listened absent-mindedly. He did not take Jiang Yongqi's words to heart. However, during the break, to go to the restroom, Jin Chengjun indeed showed up. Jin Chengjun completely ignored Yi Qian's apology. He directly gave him a heavy punch. Tell him you are not joking, and make him kneel down. Yi Qian questions him, asking why he should kneel. Jin Chengjun gives him one last chance. Yin Qian clenches his fists, ready to fight back. At that moment, the homeroom teacher suddenly enters the bathroom, stopping everything. But when Yi Qian returns to his seat but found that his Walkman had vanished without a trace. Just then, Choi Hong-yi called and told him that if he wanted to get the Walkman back, he should go to the place where the money was robbed the day before yesterday. 1,000 arrived. As promised, Kim Seong-jun handed the Walkman to Choi Hong-yi for safekeeping, saying that if he could win, the Walkman would be returned. Yi Qian wanted to argue, but Jin Chang-jun did not give him the chance. 3 consecutive punches struck his body. Angry, Yi Qian finally exploded, but each of his attacks was easily dodged by Jin Chang-jun. At this moment, Bi Qian used his powerful brain. He began to calculate the speed and direction of Jin Chang-jun's strikes. After several rounds of failed predictions, he finally seized the opportunity, accurately predicting Jin Chang-jun's moves. He quickly found an opening. He wrapped his arms around his waist and rolled down the stairs with him as a cushion. This reckless fighting style made Jin Chang-jun, the leader of another grade, feel terrified. He could not help but retreat repeatedly. However, Yin Qian did not intend to stop there. He kept fiercely kicking and striking Jin Chang-jun's injured thigh until the other completely collapsed and could not stand up. Choi Hong-yi, who always enjoyed bullying classmates, was terrified by Yi Qian's momentum, trembled as he returned the stolen portable music player. The moment the headphones went back over his ears, 1000's raging heart finally calmed down a little. Jiang Yunqi claimed he had long seen 1000's potential. Once someone like him, a top student, gets serious, he can definitely dominate the scene. In 1000's view, Jiang Yunqi is just someone good at talking, and Jiang Yunqi considers himself a coach-type figure, believing he has an eye for the big picture. What he hates most are bullies who abuse their power. He thoughtfully prepared clean uniforms for 1000. He was even reminded to use BB cream to cover the scars, so his parents would not notice. Kim Seong-jun lost to a new transfer student who only focused on his studies. This greatly displeased second-year leader Choi Ji-hyuk, who dealt him a harsh lesson. Those who usually acted tough in front of 1,000 people were powerless before Choi Ji-hyuk. He dares not make a sound. He believes he must avenge the shame of losing this time. So he ordered Kim Seong-jun, if he can't smash 1,000 heads with bricks, then he can expect my revenge. Kim Seong-jun hesitated. He did not want to use such despicable means against Yi Qian, but Choi Ji-hyuk's threats, incited by Kui Hong-yi and others, he felt immense pressure. Finally, he took the opportunity when Yin Qian and Jiang Yunqi were alone to put on his helmet and attacked from behind with a wooden stick. At this moment, Jiang Yunqi was still explaining to Yi Qian about Kui Zihei, a second-year student. Jin Chang-jun rode up on a motorcycle and struck him on the head from behind. A heavy blow to the back of his head caused him to lose consciousness on the spot. When he woke up again, he was lying in a hospital bed. His mother sat in the corridor and could not help but recall the moment when brother 1000 passed away. As he was immersed in painful memories, Kim Seong-jun appeared before him. He did not expect things to turn out like this. He only intended to give a light tap, but he lost control of his strength. Mother Wang still thought he was his son's friend. She marveled that Yi Qian had friends who cared about him right after transferring schools. These words made Jin Chang-jun feel deeply ashamed. Meanwhile, Jiang Yunqi's true intention in approaching Yi Qian, it gradually became apparent because Yi Qian is somewhat similar to his friend who is unconscious in the hospital bed, who is in a coma. The next day, Yi Qian's appearance shocked Jin Chang-jun and others. Normally, he should have been resting in bed for at least a month. 1000 calmly stated that he would not pursue the matter, but I hope Kim Seong-jun won't disturb him again in the future, provided that he has any self-respect. After hearing this, Kim Seong-jun told him not to show off anymore. Otherwise, it would be very dangerous for him. Choi Ji-hyuk was furious after learning about this. He gave Kim Seong-jun a lesson. Kim Seong-jun's demeanor made him even angrier, so he decided to provoke him in front of 1000. During the break, Jiang Yunqi immediately stood up to warn, if he does it again, I will report this to the homeroom teacher. Kui Zihei asked who he was. Is he the spokesperson for 1000? Jiang Yunqi replied that he is his assistant. Kui Hong-yi was innocently punched. Kui Zihei turns around and warns 1000 times. He tells him to come to the rooftop with Jiang Yunqi during lunch break. Otherwise, everyone in this class won't be able to settle down until they graduate. The two meet at the rooftop as scheduled during lunch. Bi Qian says all of this started because of him. He asks Kui Zihei to let Jiang Yunqi go. Everyone laughs upon hearing his words, but Kui Zihei still agreed to him. Jiang Yunqi stood aside, silently observing everything about to happen. He ordered Jin Chang-jun to stand in front of 1000 and made the two look at each other. He demanded an apology from 1000. Following Kui Zihei, request, 1000 apologized to Jin Cheng-jun, but the apology was not the end. He escalated the situation, ordering Kim Seong-jun to teach him a lesson with 1000 strikes. Kim Seong-jun struggled intensely inside, but ultimately refused to carry out the order. Choi Ji-hyuk was furious. Waving a wooden stick, he kept beating him relentlessly. Seeing Kim Seong-jun being beaten continuously, 1000 finally reached his limit and fought back fiercely, grabbing the wooden stick in Choi Ji-hyuk's hand. He asked Jang Yoon-ki if he knocked this kid down, how many people would be left in front of him. Jang Yoon-ki told him there were 2 left. Hearing that, 1000 punched Choi Ji-hyuk hard. Then he threw the stick onto the ground. Kui Ji-hae's weapon was not only taken away, but he was also punched 1000 times. Embarrassed and humiliated, he could only fight back to regain his dignity. But unexpectedly, he took 4 more punches in a row and was kicked down with a 1000-pound kick. He clumsily picked up the stick to fight back. 1000 feet hurt their ankle, almost fell to the ground. With the weapon in hand, Kui Ji-hae leveraged the distance to regain control of the situation. 1000 tried to fight back but felt powerless. Kui Ji-hae lunged forward and pushed him to the ground, holding a wooden stick tightly against his neck, on the verge of losing consciousness. At that moment, Jin Cheng-jun rushed forward and kicked Kui Ji-hae away, but was counterattacked by his own subordinate. Kui Ji-hae was furious, swearing to make these first-year guys wish they were dead. He turned around and continued the attack. 1-0-0-0-1-0-0-0 tried to circle behind him, but was still suppressed. He knows he must win this battle. He must first seize that stick. He fixates on the target. He strikes suddenly, but he is still a step too slow. He keeps trying. Finally, Bicheon grabs the stick. His right fist swings out repeatedly, defeating Kui Ji-hae. As his final punch landed, this battle finally came to an end. After this fight, Jin Cheng-jun began to grow tired of his role as the school bully. He had completely lost interest in these boring and childish conflicts. On the other hand, the defeated Kui Ji-hae nervously walked into the music classroom. She found her older brother Nan Shengji from the 3rd grade. At this moment, Yi Qian limped back to the classroom. Nan Shengji pretended to be a passerby. He took the initiative to offer to walk her back to class. Although Yi Qian found it strange, she did not think much of it. They walked to the classroom door. Nan Shengji suddenly borrows 1000 yuan, claiming it is for a good deed. He is thirsty and wants to buy a drink. He feels a bit suspicious about the 1000, but still hands over a banknote. That evening, when 1000 yuan walks out of the cram school, he unexpectedly sees Nan Shengji standing with Choi Paper Crane. This scene makes him suddenly realize. He took off his headphones. He directly asked if the fight was happening here. As soon as he said that, it made Nan Sheng burst into laughter. He even said that if there was a fight, 1000 would definitely be knocked down by him. However, he did not come to find 1000 for a fight. He wanted to recruit him into his small group. Just as 1000 was about to respond, their father suddenly appeared. Nan Sheng could only give up. Good evening. Lying on the bed, 1000 was gripping his own neck tightly. That suffocating pain surprisingly brought a hint of pleasure. He was recalling the fight from earlier in the day and was actually looking forward to tomorrow's school life. The next day at school, I saw Nan Sheng insisting on waiting at the classroom door. He stood on a desk worth 1000, smiling and inviting me to play together. He also said that this way, I could gain privilege and make others do things for me. Yi Qian asked if he would feel proud of that. Nan Sheng replied that it would make him very happy. Yi Qian told Nan Shengji that he was a bully. After hearing this, Nan Shengji poured cola on Yi Qian's head. Yi Qian wanted to fight back, but Jiang Yongqi quietly shook his head to stop him. The suppressed emotions from the whole night finally could not be contained. Bicheon ignored the warning. He walked straight toward Nan Shengji's class. Jiang Yongqi asked him why he suddenly wanted to do this. Bicheon expressed that he felt embarrassed. Seeing him appear, Nan Shengji mistakenly thought he was here to join his camp, but Bicheon opened his mouth to say he did not get to drink cola yesterday. I regret it. I want to make up for it now. Nan Shengji thought this meant he agreed to join. Little did he know, Bicheon was using his own tactics against him, poured cola over Nan Shengji's head, and smashed the cola bottle on his head as he left. The two of them went to the music classroom. Yi Qian immediately said he wanted to finish quickly. He still had to go back to study later. Seeing this, Nan Shengji struck first. His attack was fierce. 1000 thought this time the opponent just as simple as Choi Ji-hyuk and Kim Seong-jun. I did not expect to be countered so quickly. In the midst of rapid breathing, he completely lost consciousness. Nam Seong-jik thought he had it in the bag. Little did he know, it was all just a feigned feint. Nam Seong-jik turned around, ready to strike Jiang Yongji, and Jiang Yongji showed no fear, ready for battle. Just as tensions were running high, Yi Qianjing miraculously awakened. He warned Nan Shengji that if he dared to choke him again, he would make him pay the price. After saying that, the two resumed their fierce battle. Nan Shengji pressed 1000 down on him, attempting to use the same old trick to knock him out again. So what if he keeps choking you and provoking you? Struggle with all your might. Lift your left foot and press it down on him. Then launch a fierce attack on Nam Seungjik's face. Seeing the situation, Nam Seungjik's companion wanted to intervene, but Jang Young-ki stopped him. His intervention led Nam Seungjik to propose a temporary ceasefire. Let them finish their match first. I thought 1,000 was already tough. I did not expect Jang Young-ki to be even better. In just a few rounds, his companions were down and out. Nan Shengji laughed instead of getting angry. He mocked their incompetence. Jang Young-ki advised him to back off, but Nan Shengji refused to admit defeat. He actively challenged 1,000 again. This time, he changed his strategy. He locked 1,000's arm with his legs, trying to break it. Unexpectedly, Yi Qian actually stood up using his waist strength. He even kicked him in the face. Yi Qian choked Nan Shengji unconscious in the same way. Up to this point, the school bullies from grades 1 to 3 were all defeated by Yi Qian. Yi Qian and Jang Young-ki both dominated the entire school. However, under his father's long-term oppression, Yi Qian surprisingly discovered he developed an almost obsessive pleasure from fighting. One time, while lost in thought, his tutor, like his father, poked his forehead. Qian instinctively struck back, then left immediately. His father was furious when he found out, raised his hand to hit him. At night, Qian put on his headphones alone, lying in bed like some kind of ritual, harshly pinched his own neck, as if releasing long suppressed emotions. At this moment, Jang Young-ki received a call. He saw through Qian's thoughts, knowing that his obsession with fighting is actually an outlet for his emotions. So he opened his phone and played a video. That was Jin Nanye, the school bully at Ximen High School, relying on his family background, bullying the weak recklessly. At that moment, Yi Qian's father called. Jang Young-ki instinctively took the phone. In just a brief moment, it ignited the murderous intent in Yi Qian's heart. She even wanted to attack him. Seeing her like this, Jang Young-ki had no choice but to take out his phone and apologize. That night, Yi Qian was taken by his father to attend a medical exchange conference. Coincidentally, the other person's son was none other than Kim Nam-yeokyo in the video. Yi Qian publicly exposed him for his school bullying behavior. This made Kim Nam-yeokyo's father feel very embarrassed, and he said it was just some rumors. Yi Qian still would not give up. He said he had a video there. His father hurriedly pulled him aside and asked him to apologize to Jin Nanye. Yi Qian refused his father and questioned his father. "Are you trying to turn him into his brother?" His father, upon hearing this, slapped him hard. Yi Qian sat alone at the bus stop, his thoughts swirling. In the end, he took the initiative to approach Jang Young-ki and proposed to personally punish Jin Nanye. The next night, the two put on masks, and when Jin Nanye bullied classmates again, they quietly appeared in the darkness of the night. On the other side, a transfer student named Lee Jiezi. On his first day of school, he sat right in the third-grade bully's seat. The boys saw that the seat was occupied by an unknown person, and unceremoniously told him to get lost. Lee Jiezi worked hard to finally get the approval from the principal. He did not want any trouble, politely apologized to Nan Shengji. But Nan Shengji saw this humility as weakness. Immediately asked for money. Lee Jiezi hesitated for a moment, then took out a few bills from his wallet. But just as Nan Shengji reached out, he suddenly pulled the money back, asked him to be quiet. Nan Sheng grinned, indicating his understanding, but he was asking for a lot. He demanded that starting today, a protection fee of 100,000 won be paid weekly. Otherwise, he would take it in other ways. After hearing this, Li Jie stuffed the money back into his pocket and quietly stared at him. Nan Shengji's sudden strike was easily dodged by him. Seeing this, Nan Shengji decided to go all out against him. However, it was clear that he was no match for Lin Jizai. Li Jizai once again made it clear that he did not want to cause trouble, but Nan Shengji had lost face. How could he let it go so easily? In the end, he still could not defeat his opponent. He wanted to make another move, but the homeroom teacher suddenly appeared. The male saint's plans had to be put on hold. He kept getting defeated by the two transfer students. Nan Shengji's anger was hard to quell, so he thought of a way to have Kui Hongyi stir up trouble. He exaggerated the story in front of Jang Young-ki, saying that a transfer student had just arrived in the 3rd grade. He immediately got into a fight with Nan Shengji. Jang Young-ki, who prides himself on justice, and Yi Qian heard this. They immediately arranged to meet Li Ji again on the rooftop. Jang Young-ki glanced at the name tag on his chest. His expression instantly darkened. Yi Qian took the initiative to strike without a word, but he found all his moves were easily countered by the opponent. Jang Young-ki immediately realized that if the fight continued, Yi Qian would surely lose. He quickly stopped the fight and apologized to Li Jizai on the spot. He explained that they just dislike causing trouble on campus. They are just troublemakers. But Li Jizai told them that their behavior is no different from that of troublemakers. Li Jizai told him there is a difference. They only target bad people. Lin Ji is curious about what defines a bad person. He wonders why he is labeled as a bad person. Later, Jang Young-ki explains to 1000 the reason he intervened is that Li Ji comes from an unnamed high school, a school notorious for violence. Even the principal encourages students to fight for rankings. Only those who dominate the school are eligible to transfer, and Li Jiezi was the one who dominated Wuming High School. While the two were talking, they noticed Nan Shengji and his group tailing Li Jiezi led them to a corner. He still did not want to make a move, hoping Nan Shengji would give up, but Nan Shengji was determined to regain his pride, completely unaware of how terrifying the person in front of him was. As expected, Nan Sheng's second-year students were easily defeated. They could only watch helplessly as the other side left gracefully. At this moment, Jiang Yunqi suddenly called out to him. He said he had recorded the scene just now when they fought. If he does not want the instructor to find out, he must lend a hand this time. Li Ji asked if he was threatening him. Jiang Yunqi said it was a negotiation. The reason Jiang Yunqi did this was because he had to deal with Ximen High School. Last night he appeared with 1,000, both wearing masks, in front of the school bully at Ximen High School. After effortlessly taking down the bully's henchmen, 1,000 faced the bully alone. He quickly recalled in his mind the boxing style used by Jin Chengjun and applied it to the school bully. Jiang Yunqi forced the bully to kneel and apologize to the bullied student. He also had 1,000 record the entire scene. Afterward, Jiang Yunqi went alone to the hospital and looked at her friend on the hospital bed, saying he will make everyone who bullied him kneel down, and because of that, he brought along 1,000, even threatening Li Jiezi with a video, because he understands that with just the two of them, it is far from enough to shake the remaining group. 1,000 returned home, but instead, he received a slap from his father. It turned out that the tutor had informed him that he had been frequently late recently. His mother tried to intervene. She asked her husband why he did not reflect on what problems his education had caused. She also said that he could not force him to study like this anymore. He transformed his grievances into anger. Just then, while waiting for the subway that day, he accidentally overheard someone talking about the school bully from the neighboring school, who was recklessly bullying the weaker students. So the next day, he took Jiang Yunqi to the area where the bully often hung out. Before going in, Jiang Yunqi specifically reminded Yi Qian not to go all out like last time. If it were not for Jiang Yunqi stepping in to stop them that night, the school bully would have been beaten to death by 1,000. They thought they could punish evil and promote good just like before, but this time, they fell into a trap carefully set by the other side. When they were surrounded by the thugs, 1,000 finally realized the news he heard at the subway station last night. It was deliberately played for him to hear, because their recent feats of teaching the school bully a lesson had already spread throughout all the schools, and today was the opponent's planned counterattack. Each of these guys is highly skilled. They obviously came prepared. During the fierce fight, the two quickly fell into the group led by Feng. He ripped off Jiang Yunqi's mask. He even recorded it. Bing Qian seized the opportunity and kicked angrily. Jiang Yunqi also took the chance to strike hard. He hit that thug who had harmed his companion. He knew that if this continued, things would get worse. So he grabbed a fire extinguisher and smashed the window. He called out and jumped out to escape. The school bullies were relentlessly chasing from behind. At that moment, Jin Chengjun, delivering food on a motorcycle, happened to pass by. He helped the two escape quickly. The three bullies who had been taught a lesson by Jiang Yunqi and Yi Qian gathered together. They reported to another skilled school bully. He was the mastermind behind Jiang Yunqi's friend being hospitalized. He saw Jiang Yunqi's embarrassed appearance in the video and also noticed the unfamiliar Yi Qian. He became interested, especially the phrase 1,000. Calls himself a high school hero. It completely ignited his fierce nature. The next day, Kuntu took the initiative to appear in 1,000's school music classroom. He told Nan Sheng to go and call 1,000. Nan Sheng could not recognize who the buzzcut was. He even arrogantly said he wanted me to run errands. Let us talk after you bring 50,000. Without a word, the buzzcut taught him a lesson with 50,000. Just like that, Nan Sheng got beaten up again. Since his appearance, he has never won a single match. It really makes you wonder how he became the third-grade school bully. The unconvinced Nan Shengji tried to use the same tactics he used on 1,000 against Dun Tao. Unexpectedly, Dun Tu's legs were long, and he stood up to fight back immediately. Soon after, Jiang Yunqi and 1,000 appeared. 1,000 had just taken off his headphones. Just as he was about to step in, he was stopped by Jiang Yunqi. He did not want to drag 1,000 into his own feud. Time went back to earlier. The school bully used violence to recruit followers. They forced younger students to pay protection fees, but today they encountered two tough opponents. No matter the threats, beatings, or humiliation, just unwilling to back down. To prevent his best friend from getting hurt further, Jiang Yunqi gritted his teeth and used his own money as protection money to pay them, but this group only escalated their demands, and even forced his friend to hand over money as well. The leader of the bullies allowed Jiang Yunqi to leave, thinking he could take his friend with him. Unexpectedly, the other party only allowed him to leave alone. Jiang Yunqi hesitated. His friend told him to leave first. He hesitated again and again. In the end, he turned and left, but he did not go far. He suddenly turned around and rushed back, but what he never expected was, what greeted him was the tragedy of his friend being thrown alive from the rooftop. At this moment, Jiang Yunqi encountered the buzzcut school bully again. This time, the buzzcut still showed the same attitude as before, telling him to leave alone. But this time, Jiang Yunqi did not hesitate. He directly started a fight. Unfortunately, Jiang Yunqi was no match for Kun Tu. Just as he was being pinned down and beaten, Yin Qian roared and stopped Kun Tu. Then he rushed forward, but Kun Tu's strength was far superior. Not only did he pin Yin Qian down, he also kicked and broke his ankle. Yi Qian screamed in agony, having lost the use of one hand, yet it still could not make the buzz cut stop. At that moment, Li Ji was telling him to stop. Li Ji's appearance surprised the buzz cut. Who does not know he is the dominant presence at Wuming High School? He rules the entire school. The buzz cut is smart. He sensed the situation. Take the portable player worth 1,000. Drop the harsh words and turn to leave. Li Jitsi advised them not to provoke the buzz cut again. He also did not want to take action any further. The next day, Li Jitsi went to school as usual. Unexpectedly, several thugs suddenly appeared and surrounded him. He intended to settle things peacefully and leave, but he found that the alley had already been ambushed. He knew he could not avoid this fight, so he decided to fight them head-on. As a man who has fought his way out of hell, he was fearless in the face of these people. Even though one of his arms was dislocated, he still calmly adjusted his hat, using his one arm to take down everyone one by one. He thought he finally escaped the attack, but did not expect that all of this was a trap set by the buzz cut. The buzz cut already knew he could not defeat the peak version of Lin Ji, so he resorted to underhanded tactics and pompously claimed he wanted to face him in a one-on-one duel. The buzz cut seized the opportunity when Lin Ji dislocated an arm and forcefully turned the tide of the battle. He was kicked to the ground by the buzz cut. In the moment of the buzz cut's cold mockery, Li Jitsi reacted quickly. He rolled to avoid a fatal blow. Then he kicked at the opponent's ankle. Li Jitsi grabbed the buzz cut's arm from behind, tightly locked at the waist, enduring the excruciating pain from the opponent's frenzied attacks on his waist, gritting his teeth and holding on. Soon, the buzz around Kun Tu faded. However, in the next moment, Kun Tu woke up. He got up and threw Li Jizai down. Now, Li Jizai completely lost his fighting ability. He was hit by an uppercut and was thrown to the ground. Jiang Yunqi came to the hospital to visit Li Jizi. Under his guidance, he finally realized that his recent actions, those so-called acts of punishing evil and promoting good, could be called justice in a flattering way. But to put it bluntly, they were really just using the name of justice to take revenge for himself. He recalled all the bits and pieces with 1,000. Jiang Yunqi decided to take responsibility and make amends. He went to Kun Tu alone to demand the return of the 1,000 yuan Walkman. Kun Tu said if he wanted the Walkman, he would have to fight for it. Jiang Yunqi did not hesitate. He acted decisively. At first, he was not a match for Kun Tu. In the midst of the tense moment, he delivered a flying kick that knocked the buzz cut down. The buzz cut roared in helpless fury. Then they clashed again, punching and hitting each other back and forth. Kang Yon-ki fought with all his might, but he was still no match for the buzz cut. Eventually, he collapsed to the ground. Kun Tu did not continue to make things difficult. Instead, he returned the Walkman to him. Qian received Jiang Yunqi's call and rushed over. He handed the repaired Walkman to him and sincerely apologized. The next day, Qian's father came looking for Jiang Yunqi. He then learned that Qian had not returned home all night. At this moment, Qian is standing at the school gate of Kun Tu, quietly waiting for him to appear. Seeing the buzz cut show up, no nonsense from 1,000, he directly chose to make a move here. The two began their duel under the watchful eyes of the crowd. Under normal circumstances, 1,000 is not a match for the buzz cut, but he relied on his incredible willpower, forcefully suppressing the buzz cut. He swung his wrist wrapped in plaster and struck hard at the buzz cut's head. Then, he brought his fists together and knocked the buzz cut down. 1,000 punches landed on the opponent's face. On the surface, it was hitting the buzz cut, but in reality, he was confronting the brother who had once abused him, battling against his father, and that cowardly self. 1,000 takes the Walkman, wants to put an end to the buzz cut. At this moment, father and Jiang Yunqi appear, telling him to stop here. At this time, 1,000 thought of his dream. He likes the blue sky. He presses the play button. He raised his foot high in front of everyone and his father and stomped down hard on the buzz cut. This act made 1,000 unable to stay at the original school. He boarded the bus to the unnamed high school. Unexpectedly, on the bus, he met Kang Yun-ki, who was also starting a new journey. After arriving at the station, the teacher actually made a violent move against the students on the bus. It turns out their destination is Wuming High School. Wuming High School is a closed-off school, surrounded by tall walls, like a prison. If you want to leave, the only way is to fight your way into the top 10. With the arrival of Yi Qian and Jiang Yunqi, what kind of storm will this iron-blooded academy stir up again?